Welcome back, college football and black and gold fans, to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, the only channel where we examine, discuss, celebrate, and honor all things college football across the entire college football landscape. In other words, the only channel that's got you covered for all things college football. I'm your usual host, Blair Parks. It's great to be back with you here on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. Woo! It's been far too long. My apologies. I know some of you are expecting a national championship reaction and recap episode. I'm sorry that just did not come to fruition. I'm a little bit late to the party. At the end of last week and the middle of last week, yours truly got very, very busy and bogged down with work responsibilities, deadlines, coaching issues for my son's basketball team, issues helping my wife, my children. In other words, life just happened, as it does tend to do. And remember, I'm not doing this for any sort of monetary gain. I'm just your average college football fanatic nut who loves being here with you on the weekly, sharing my love for all things college football. So if you were expecting that episode, my apologies. I promise I will get it out there soon. But there were some other big happenings last week that I needed to go ahead and focus this episode on. So before I say anything more, I just want to thank you all for your time, your attention, your support here for the channel. As of recently, everything is trending in the right direction. Likes, views, subscriptions, comments, everything is going in the right direction. I'm happy. It is growing. This has been my most successful season yet here on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. But I need your help. I want to find more college football fans just like you. So please, get the word out there. Tell your fellow college football fans, your family members, friends, your coworkers to check me out here in the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. Let's keep momentum on the side of the good guys, and I appreciate everything you do for the channel. And if this is your first time joining me here on the channel, welcome. I think you will find this episode and all of the episodes both informative and entertaining. Or if you're somebody who is returning, welcome back as well. And as always, these episodes are driven by you, the college football fan. So I want to hear from you. I always ask for, beg even, and encourage your participation. I want to hear from you, so please exercise your right as a college football fan. Use that voice. I want you to comment in the section below. I promise you that I will get back to you, each and every one of you individually, sooner than later via those comments. And I always can wait and want to hear from you. So please get involved, comment to anything that I might present or say or state, or if there's something maybe that I forgot, or if I do make a gaffe. I mean, here on the channel, I don't do any edits. I don't do any dress rehearsals. I don't do any retakes. I just simply click, start, record, send. That's it. Because doing all of those things sounds like a job and work to me. And this is strictly hobby. So please get involved. Or if there's something that I missed or you disagree with, feel free to call me out. I want to hear from you. So please get involved, comment, like, share, subscribe to get notifications if you like what you see and what you hear. So what's on tap for today, guys? Give me about 25, 30 minutes, because at the middle of last week, and here it is today, it's Monday the 15th, happy MLK Day to you all, that we had really not one, not two, but three seismic events that really sent shockwaves throughout the college football universe. Monday night, we did see, first of all, the University of Michigan Wolverines. Congratulations on hoisting and winning the Natty title for 2024. their first title since 1997. And what a great showing and game also. Congrats to the Washington Huskies on their runner-up finish in that national championship game. And then midweek Wednesday night, the second of these seismic events, it kind of was reported and came out, actually more late Wednesday afternoon, and then was confirmed Wednesday evening, the 10th, that the GOAT, Nick Saban himself, was retiring and walking away, parading off into the sunset as the coach of the University of Alabama after 17 seasons. So that sent off one shockwave. And when I first saw that, my first response was maybe a little bit surprised, but not shocked. But immediately I went into what I knew was going to be the next seismic event, and that was going to be the coaching search of all coaching searches. Who were they going to name his successor there at the University of Alabama? And speaking of the Washington Huskies, their head coach, only a matter of 2.5, 3 days later, on Friday, January 12th, it started to be reported and then later confirmed that evening that Washington head football coach Kalen DeBoer was going to be named and was confirmed to be Alabama's next head football coach down there in Tuscaloosa. So this all happened so quickly. And I did plan on doing a episode strictly just for Nick Saban to celebrate everything that he's accomplished and what he's meant to college football. But because this all happened so quick, I wanted to do a combination episode of what did Nick Saban mean to college football, and also let's react and discuss the hiring of Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. So this is my reaction to Coach Nick Saban retiring and Alabama hiring Kalen DeBoer to be his successor. So let's go ahead and keep this guy going here. So the question I want to start off with right now to you Alabama fans and you college football fans in general, do you like the hire? Do you think it's a great hire, a solid hire, good hire? Are you satisfied? Or are you the flip side of that, the other end of that spectrum? Are you dissatisfied, displeased, flat out angry, pissed off? Did they get it wrong? Did they get it right? So ask yourselves that question and feel free to comment below and subscribe. I want to hear from you. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the pros and cons of Kalen DeBoer being the next head coach for the Crimson Tide. Both, hey, if you're somebody who believes I like the hire, here's the reasons why. Or if you're on the flip side of that opinion, I don't like the hire, here's the statements and reasons why. And I also will give you my opinion on where I am as well. So the first thing we got to get into, I do need to kind of quickly summarize what Coach Nick Saban did and meant specifically for the Alabama Crimson Tide program and college football in general. So, regardless of who the successor for Nick Saban was going to be at Alabama, we need to know what exactly did he accomplish there as the head man for the Crimson Tide. And let me go and share this with you. This is what Kalen DeBoer or anyone would have to live up to, and this is what he knew going into the job to accept the position. Hey, these are the shoes that I have to potentially try to fill, and I need to be the encore act for the GOAT. So let's just see. Let me just kind of summarize with you really quickly what Nick Saban did there at Alabama. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a head cold I'm kind of getting over. He spent 17 seasons as the Alabama head football coach. At Alabama, 6 national titles, 7 overall when you factor in the one natty title that he won at LSU before that terrible decision to make the leap to the next level to coach the Dolphins in the National Football League. While at Alabama, he won 9 SEC titles, 10 SEC West Division titles. His overall record at Alabama, 201 victories to only 29 losses. He coached 4 Heisman Trophy winners. And at Alabama, he had 0 losing seasons in the 17 years that he spent on the sideline. Now, hearing those numbers, they absolutely jump off the page. Now, like most of you, I knew about the national titles, and I even knew about the no losing seasons at Alabama, but when you look at these numbers, when you hear what I just stated and presented, it's really remarkable. I mean, and to me, I look at 2 numbers and 2 facts that really stick out to me. I mean, the overall record at Alabama, 201 to only 29 losses in 17 years. Absolutely phenomenal. But this is, to me, the stat that is the most incredible and unbelievable. Yes, 17 seasons at Alabama, did not have a losing season at all. But when you look at his entire career as an NCAA head coach, 28 seasons he spent on the sidelines at Alabama, LSU, Michigan State, Toledo as well. In 28 seasons, he never, ever had a single losing season. That is absolutely incredible. When you have sometimes major injuries during a season, or you take over a program that's really down in the dumps, the cupboard is bare, or if you have major turnover, a lot of guys, graduate, so their time is up, or they move on to the NFL. He was able to navigate all of those potentials and never had a losing season. It is absolutely incredible. I mean, that to me is the most impressive stat when I look at everything that he's accomplished, both at Alabama and overall. So, that being known, that being realized, okay, that's not fiction, that's fact. So I'm going to say this, my first main point for Alabama fans, okay, that when the program and the administration was looking to hire the next head football coach, his successor, that when you compare what Nick Saban has done to whomever it might have been, who they said, yep, this is our guy, with those above mentioned stats I just shared with you, those milestones, those accomplishments, it will never work out. Ever. You will never be satisfied if that's what you expect, if that's what you expected the next head football coach to emulate. If you were always going to compare what, this coach has done after season 1, 2, or 3 to what Coach Nick did after season 1, 2, or 3, it was never going to be fair. You were then going to turn out to be one of those fan bases who continuously and historically just could not get out of their own way. I'm not saying you want to expect a huge dive in the program and how consistent it has been. You don't want that. But, for example, if you go from winning 12, 11 wins a season to maybe the first couple winning 9 or 10, it's okay. The sky is not falling. This was something that was going to happen inevitably. It just was. So you need to basically go into this new relationship like we all do. Whenever we find that next love interest or that person that's compatible, he or she, whomever, you want to say, you know what? My past dating life and experiences, those are null and void. I am going to completely turn those off and forget them. And I'm going to start from scratch, giving you my new partner, my new leader, my new interest, however you want to word it. I'm going to give you a clean slate. We are starting over again. So Alabama fans, you need to give Kalen DeBoer a fair shake and chance to prove himself to you. You cannot compare him or expect that bar not to stay here or increase at least right away in his first few seasons, okay? You need to just tone it down a little bit if that's what you believe must happen. And if that's what you believe is that's the only way to determine if we made the right hire or for us to be satisfied. You need to turn that and turn it down just a little bit and pump those brakes, okay? And just remember, this historical run that you've been on under Coach Nick Saban, it's not normal, okay? So if you've gotten a little bit spoiled, good for you. That's great. I'm glad for you. I wish my Hawkeyes could do this, right? But you need to now understand and accept reality. You have been on something that is unheard of and unparalleled, especially in the modern era of football, okay? So just tone it down a little bit. Give him a chance, all right? So, next thing I want to move into, and please, at this point, if you like, dislike, agree, disagree with what I've said, please comment, like, share, subscribe, get involved. I can't wait to hear from you. Now I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate here. I'm going to go ahead and present to you, the college football fandom universe, why you should believe that Coach Kalen DeBoer was a good hire for Alabama. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and start off to kind of change things up a little bit. When I present the reasons why he's a good fit, a good hire, I'm going to give you my opinion. I was kind of on the fence a little bit, but thinking about it, looking at what he's accomplished, looking at, his teams, his persona, his personality, I'm with those who believe this was a good hire. All right. Now, I'm going to say this, though, just to be completely honest with you, I don't believe that this is a great hire for Alabama, not the so-called slam dunk, but I do believe it is a good, solid hire. It is. And I'm going to go and present my reasons why I believe that, as well as some of you who are also with me would state and believe. All right? So, Coach Kalen DeBoer at Washington. His 2 seasons there in Seattle, his record was 25-3. Now that's the one thing, all right? This guy only has 2 seasons as a Power 5 coach, but still, in 2 years, 25-3, led them to a college football playoff appearance, and they did advance, as I stated, to the national championship game. They were the runner-up. And remember that when he took over there in Seattle for Washington, they were 4-8 the previous season. That was their record. So when he got there, the cupboard, a little bit bare, a little bit empty. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to say this. I know when Coach Nick Saban took over at Alabama, it was also a little bit empty and bare there. But his first season at Alabama, he went 7-6. With that loss to mighty ULM, Louisiana Monroe, the Warhawks. Okay, so just keep that in perspective, Bama fans. Once again, this is looking pretty good right now, okay? This season, he went 14-1. It was that breakout season for himself and Washington. As I mentioned, the national title runner-up, the 34-13 loss to Michigan, who was and is the best team in this season. As I told you, they were preseason and during the season. Just saying. And did win the Pac-12 Conference Championship. All right. And he also coached the Heisman Trophy runner-up quarterback Michael Penix Jr. And the Pac-12 this season, as I told you during the season and even preseason, the Pac-12 was the deepest, most competitive conference from start to finish. It was, okay? And yet they came out on top, undefeated in the regular season, all right? So, excellent accomplishments this season and last season there at Washington. So, he's a proven winner. He is. Before Washington, he spent 2 seasons as the Fresno State head coach there in the Mountain West. He had a record of 13-6. They did win the Mountain West title his second and last season there as the head man for the Bulldogs. In that second year and his first year, he had a stud quarterback, my man Jake Hayner, lighten up the scoreboard. His second season, they did defeat number 13 UCLA. So they did have a breakthrough victory while he was the head man for the Bulldogs there at Fresno. And before his arrival at Fresno State, he coached at Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the University of Sioux Falls. Now, that was an NAIA institution, so one of the lowest levels of NCAA competition, but from 2005 to 2009. But what he did while he was there at Sioux Falls, he only won not one, not two, but 3 NAIA national titles. So once again, this guy has won no matter where he has gone. All he does is win, 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 no matter what. That's it. So he is a proven winner, okay? I mean, right there, that's the truth in itself. Those don't lie. Those are facts. And that absolutely backs that up. He's a winner, okay? Now, the other thing I like about him is he's only 49 years young. He's still a young man when it comes down to the coaching business. So because of that, he's energetic, he's driven, he's passionate, he's got energy for days, for weeks. So you potentially have a guy that can coach there at Alabama for 15, 20 years based on his age starting right now. That's a huge, huge plus when you're trying to build continuity and keep a program where they are and build them up. I mean, that's a huge factor as far as, hey, what's the age of that coach that we are going to invest in, not just now, but hopefully long term. And he is an offensive guru. I mean, the guy has an offensive mind. There is no doubt about that, okay? And I already brought this up. I'll tell you something that he doesn't have. Yes, he doesn't have the natty titles of Nick Saban and that proven longevity quite yet, but he doesn't have a bad loss on his resume as a Power 5 coach. His first season, I believe their 2 losses were against Arizona State and UCLA, so maybe not world beaters in the Pac-12, but still fellow Power 5 opponents. So once again, he doesn't have that ULM loss on his resume like Nick Saban did his first year in Tuscaloosa. He doesn't have that, all right? It's not there, all right? And something else that really, really kind of sold me on this, all right, is you compare what he has done head-to-head to some of the preferred candidates that Alabama wanted to hire to replace Nick Saban. All right. They might say that they got their man, their primary target from day one, hour one, minute one. But I think we all know that's just false. Okay. I don't think he was necessarily on the first page of the leaderboard Sunday at the Masters in Augusta, but probably on the second page. And some people might think that's a negative, possibly. All right. But let me tell you this. All right. Now, the preferred candidates, there really were 3. Okay. And I'll name those more in depth here with the negatives. Those of you who might think this is a bad hire, but you definitely could tell that Coach Dan Lanning, the current head coach at Oregon, was on Alabama's radar, one of their preferred candidates. But since his time at Oregon, these 3 individuals, Kalen DeBoer and Coach Lanning, have met up 3 times. And guess what? Kalen DeBoer has had the best of him all 3 times. He is 3-0 against Dan Lanning at Oregon. So right there, you could say he's outcoached somebody that they preferred to hire. And also, another one of the preferred candidates to replace Nick Saban had to be current Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian. Well, guess what? Yep. They've met up twice previously. And we saw what happened this season in the college football playoff semifinal in the Sugar Bowl. Kalen DeBoer defeated Steve Sarkisian straight up. But the previous season, they also met in postseason play, I believe in the Texas Bowl or the Alamo Bowl, one of those two. But point being, the bowl game was in Texas. I mean, that's a must win if you are the head football coach of the state school of Texas. And Washington and Kalen DeBoer defeated Steve Sarkisian in that bowl game in Texas. So he is 2-0 all time straight up against Steve Sarkisian. So right there, I mean, he's outcoached two of the preferred candidates that they were really wanting at Alabama. So this is looking pretty good. If you're somebody who thought, bad hire, or I don't really know where I am yet, this is sounding and looking like a pretty good hire, all right? It just is, all right? Last couple things I want to go ahead and mention before I present the flip side of this argument is, once again, maybe not their first, preferred candidate and applicant to replace Nick Saban, but still, overall, Bama fans, you should be satisfied. Okay, and once again, just give the guy a fair chance and a fair shake to show you what he can do, both on and off the field. All right? So that's my presentation to why I believe he's a good hire. Once again, not a great hire to me, but a good hire, and you should be satisfied with it. And that's why a lot of people who agree with me, they would present those statements, those arguments. Now, please feel free to get involved. If you like what I just said about, hey, we should be happy, comment below, like, share, subscribe. Can't wait to hear from you. Now, the flip side of this is why those of you would believe he is not a good hire for Alabama, why he's not the answer, why I am dissatisfied, disappointed, displeased. So this is why some of you who believe he's not a good hire, here's your reasons why. All right. Not a preferred candidate. Already mentioned that, but I'm going to go ahead and expand on that. It's very, very obvious who the short list was as far as individuals that they wanted to name as their next head football coach. Already told you, Steve Sarkisian at Texas was right there, as was Dan Lanning, Oregon's head football coach. And another one, probably tops on the list, is current Georgia head football coach Kirby Smart. I mean, he's already won 2 national titles there. So these 3 individuals did not want to depart or leave the programs that they currently are at. And I think another person who was on their short list had to be current Ole Miss head football coach Lane Kiffin. And those 4, I believe, were the primary preferred candidates because it's known that they are former assistant coaches under Nick Saban at Alabama, and also that they have SEC experience coaching, recruiting, and knowing the landscape of the region. All right? Now, other individuals that I think should have been on that short list, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I had to go with Dabo Swinney, the Clemson head coach, and another individual who has defeated Nick Saban multiple times, just like Dabo Swinney had to be current Auburn head football coach Hugh Freeze. But looks like maybe they might have contacted those individuals. I don't know yet, but obviously it did not work out. And what a slap in the face it would have been for Alabama. You lure Hugh Freeze to be your next head football coach. He's had experience against Nick Saban straight up. He's had experience within the SEC, and you get to hold that over your in-state arch rivals, Auburn. I mean, how great would that have been if you're a Bama fan? But anyway, so maybe not, once again. So you would say, I don't like the hire because he wasn't on that first page of the leaderboard. I understand it. Now, One person who could tell is Paul Feinbaum, the shock jock that he is, absolutely was on Team Lane Kiffin. He didn't really have to say that directly, but if you watch the clip on YouTube about him and Mark Schlabach, who was reporting and confirming that DeBoer was indeed the next head football coach at Alabama, time and time again, Paul Feinbaum is asking Mark Schlabach, why not Lane Kiffin, blah, blah, blah. So it seems like that was maybe the preferred candidate to replace him. Maybe. Alabama fans, let me know. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, get involved. Now, another statement that people on the negative side of this would say is he only has 2 seasons as a Power 5 head coach. He lacks long-term experience, and we really have a small sample size. I do agree with that. I do. All right? Next statement that I would say is he has no ties or experience to the SEC or the South in general. He's not a quote-unquote Southern man. He doesn't and won't understand the culture of the SEC. He won't be able to recruit the region. He doesn't understand the landscape of the region. He's a complete outsider, a stranger to the conference where it just means more. Okay, do I understand that? I do, but I'm going to be quite frank with you, okay? And I'm not buying this argument. And we've heard this before, have we not? Brian Harsin at Auburn. We've heard this before, okay? And to be quite frank with all of you who are that sort of hardliners, okay, I understand it, but I completely don't agree with it. And quite frankly, this sentiment and this stance of what I just said, to me, it's completely asinine. And here's why. Listen to me. I'm not trying to disrespect any of you, but to me, it's completely, off. It's a complete miss, all right? It's even off the radar. It's asinine, as I said. Here's why. All right? Is he from the South? Yeah, he's from South Dakota, but not the South, okay? But no, but to be serious here is why it's completely asinine and kind of, I'm going to bite my tongue for now, but here's why. So apparently, if you are somebody of that mindset, of that state of mind, that school of thought of, oh, that's why I don't like the hire because of what I said about lack of SEC or Southern ties. So apparently, I guess that must be the key to overall success or a requirement to be a successful head football coach, apparently. Maybe I wasn't ever informed of that, but apparently that's what some individuals truly believe, that you have to be SEC born and bred, experienced from that region to be a successful head football coach, apparently. All right? So maybe that is to some of you, and I understand, but it's not a requirement. It doesn't separate the haves and have-nots. And here's why. I'm going to give you some legit examples. And after I give these to you, if you're that school of thought, I want to hear from you. So please comment, get involved. When you look at this century, which I consider the modern era of college football, so the 2 best coaches to me this century have been, I'm going to go and talk about them. I know this is up for discussion, but I think the 2 that just missed out would be Dabo Swinney and Coach Kirby Smart. All right? And here's why. All right? So the first head football coach, all right, number 2 of the best 2 football coaches this century, I've got to start off with Urban Meyer. Okay? We all know what he's done. 3 national championships, 1 at Ohio State, 2 down in SEC country at Florida. All right? So 3 national championships. But look at his background. When he arrived down in Gainesville, he had 0 SEC experience or ties, and people probably said the same damn thing. Won't be able to recruit, doesn't understand the culture, it's too big of a moment and situation for him. But look what he accomplished there. And his coaching stops previous to that, look where they were. Utah and Bowling Green. The guy was born and raised in Ohio, okay? So that shoots that down. That's step one of, okay, I get it. I see where you're going here, Blair. Next example, the man that Kalen DeBoer is replacing, Nick Saban. Look where he was. Before he arrived down in Baton Rouge to coach LSU, his previous coaching stops were, look, Michigan State, Toledo. The guy was born and raised in West Virginia. He had no SEC ties or experience either. And look what he's done for Alabama and LSU. And maybe Alabama fans, you should be maybe in a way kind of thank your lucky stars. If he never would have made that jump, that awful decision to go to the NFL, LSU would be the dynasty that we'd be talking about right now potentially, all right? So you don't have to be a so-called Southerner, a Southern man, experienced. You don't have to do that to have success. And those two examples right there prove it. Especially number one, Nick Saban. He wasn't a Southerner. He's not a Southern man when he first started. So please, if you're that school of thought, that's why I said you're completely off base. And quite frankly, it's dumb. I'm just going to call it for what it is, okay? That doesn't mean you're going to be a success or a failure, all right? It doesn't. So get over that, all right? Now, one thing that I will say that folks who are against the hire say, look he doesn't know how to coach a defense. And yes, Washington's their Achilles heel this season was their defense. Overall, it was. But that's why he knows he's going to have to hire a slam dunk defensive coordinator. All right? So I understand that apprehension about the defensive side of it. Okay? But I say this, all right, to those of you who say, oh, he's only got 2 years at the Power 5 level, doesn't have those ties. Elite and good coaching correlates and travels. It does, okay? Regardless of the situation or your background, all right? Good coaching is good coaching. It just needs time to flourish and to pay off, all right? It's just like talent. Good talent correlates no matter where you are. And look at the locals, the natives here. As some of you know, I was born and raised Northwest Illinois. Currently, am a citizen of the Show Me State here in Missouri. 2 seasons ago, when Cody Schrader transferred into Mizzou from lower level Truman State, some people said the same thing. He has all these records at Truman State, great, but come on, this is SEC football. How good is he really going to be? And we all saw what he did this past season, leading the conference in rushing. Talent is talent, just like coaching is coaching. The guy is a proven winner, all right? So that's where I am on both sides of the fence, whether those who agree like the hire, those who disagree don't like it. Please, regardless of what fan you are of that stance, I want to hear from you. Please get involved, like, share, comment below, and I cannot wait to get back to you. And yeah, I was a little bit surprised by how quickly this replacement, this successor was announced. I mean, you talk not even 3 whole days. But I understand that it is a priority because you want to show that this program is stable, there is no instability or unsureness of where we're heading, to keep your recruits and to also keep your current players from hitting the transfer portal. So I totally understood why this had to be priority 1 and 2, and we've got to name somebody quickly. I wish my Iowa Hawkeyes would take a note of this, because here we are, the 3rd week in January, and we don't even have an offensive coordinator yet. Whatever the hell they're doing there in Iowa City. But anyway, guys, I can't wait to hear from you. I will be back later this week on Friday. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of reflection. I'm going to look back on how I did my preseason episode, which was my bold predictions and crystal ball predictions for the 2023 season. I'm going to reflect and look at those and share with you how I did. All right? And I have a lot of other fun episodes coming up here during the off season, so don't you worry. I do plan on being around at least every, if not every other week, just to keep involved and to hear from you. So thank you for all you do. I can't wait to get to your comments, to read them and respond. Join me later this week. So subscribe, comment, get notifications. And until then, enjoy the week. Stay warm, stay safe, stay inside. And thank you for joining me on this episode of the Touchdown Black and Go vlog. See ya.